Hey y'all, what's up? This is your boy Evan. Welcome to the Cartoon Block. Today we have Kyle Lambert joining us once again from the UK. And he's going to show us how he paints using an iPad. Get back here in a few seconds and check it out.
Hello everybody, my name's Kyle and I'm an illustrator and animator from the UK. In this video I'm going to talk to you about some of the techniques that I use when I'm drawing with my iPad. And to show you this I've done a portrait of Evan from the YouTube channel CartoonBlock. Now if you have an interest in drawing, this guy is definitely worth checking out. He does some great videos that show you how to draw some of your favourite cartoon characters. So let's get started. One of the great things about painting with the iPad is that you're using your finger rather than a paintbrush. And this naturally forces you to work in a lot looser way, which I think is great. You can see here that using a really large brush, roughly the size of my finger, I'm just blocking in the basic areas of colour to start building this portrait up. You'll find that gradually the face begins to emerge, and as you start to see the characteristics of the portrait, you'll then find that you need to reduce the size of the brush to begin putting details in, particularly around the eyes and around the mouth, and depending on the person, if they've got detailed hair, you'll need to start putting those details in as well. Now if you're working on detailed areas, it's definitely worth zooming in, just so that you're not guessing and you're not straining your eyes in any way. And on the iPad it couldn't really be easier. Place two fingers on the display and separate them out to zoom in, and then pinch them back together again to zoom out. This intuitive way of working is great because on the fly you can be quickly moving in and out of your painting. Just like you would in real life, you would step back to see that it looks okay from distance, just as well as it does close up when you're working on it. Now I wouldn't get too bogged down with adding every piece of individual detail at this stage, but what I am going to do is introduce a little bit of texture into the hair and also the beard area as well. Now using your finger it's not easy to create intricate detail, so there's a technique that I've developed using a very tiny small brush, where if you scribble in the general area where you would like there to be texture, especially if you've got transparency on the brush where the colour overlaps, you get a nice range of tone and texture. And also if it's a little bit too strong, as long as you've done that on a separate layer, you can use the eraser to knock it back and blend it with the picture as well. I use this wherever there is hair, facial texture in the skin, and also if you're doing a landscape painting it can be good for doing areas of foliage and grass and things like that. So wherever you need any texture, use a small brush, scribble in the area that you want, and if it's on a new layer you can then erase that and blend it with the picture as well. Now another thing that you may have noticed that I've started to do here is smooth the skin areas out. Now this can be achieved by using a soft edged brush, taking the opacity down to about 20 or 30%, and then finding a colour that roughly blends between the two, and then using the opacity, the more times you paint over the area, it will gradually blend those two colours together. Now you'll need to adapt the colour that you're using as you move around the painting, so you'll find some areas are darker, some areas are lighter depending on the tone that you're working on. But this technique does take a little while to do, but you'll find gradually you'll start to smooth the whole area out and it'll start to look nice and convincing. So the final stage is really just about adding any missing details in, so finishing off things like the t-shirt here, any tiny details in the skin or in the eyes, things like eyelashes and eyebrows and extra details in the beard and hair. Eventually you'll be able to zoom in and out and it'll look great from both distances, and that's the point where you should really be stopping. So here's a quick summary of all the different stages that we've just gone through in this painting speeded up. If you'd like to have a go at doing one of these paintings yourself and you have an iPad, I'd recommend that you use the Brushes app to get going. It's nice and easy to use, the interface is really simple. There are other applications such as Sketchbook Pro out there, but they can be a little bit more complicated if you've not done this before. If you'd like to see any more of my iPad paintings, you can click on any of these three on the screen right now, or you can click on the button below that will take you to my YouTube channel where there are plenty more for you to watch. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope to see you again soon.
What character would you like to see Kyle paint next here on the Cartoon Block? A. L from Death Note, B. Ezio from Assassin's Creed, or C. Iron Man? Leave your answers in the comments below.